Now, on 105.9 FM and streaming worldwide on the WMAL app. O'Connor and Company.
8:37, a lot of developing stories breaking as we speak this morning. Just recently, in the last 30 minutes, it's been revealed that Don Lemon has, in fact, been arrested and taken into custody by federal law enforcement in Los Angeles. This, of course, over his participation in invading a church service in Minneapolis 2 weeks ago. That broke as well, Patrice Onwuka, as the breaking story at 6:50 this morning, that the president has, in fact, made his nomination for chair of the Federal Reserve. So a lot to get into.
Yes.
Good morning, and thanks for joining us.
Good morning, everybody.
Let's bring in Steve Moore. Steve Moore is a stud. We love Steve. He is an economist. He's the co-founder and chairman of Unleash Prosperity. We're a committee to Unleash Prosperity. You need to get that daily newsletter that you get from Steve Moore. It's very informative. And Steve, I mean, we were going to have you on to sort of talk about the speculation about who the Fed chair might be, and then there goes, POTUS has a way of dominating a story. So tell us about Kevin Warsh, and what does this mean should he get the confirmation from the Senate?
Well, bullseye, Mr. President. This was a fantastic pick. I'm a huge fan of Kevin Warsh, and we should start by saying that Jerome Powell was a complete failure, and thank God he's going to be leaving in a few months.
Wait, hold on. We have President Trump's assessment of Jerome Powell, if we could, real fast. It's quick.
Okay.
So we have a stupid person, frankly, at the Fed.
There you go. That's.
I couldn't have said it better, Mr. President. I mean, it's very funny. Every time I go see, 2 or 3 times a year, I'll go see him, and the first thing I say, Steve, I made a big mistake with Jerome Powell, didn't I? said, yes, sir, you did. But I think he hit this one right out of the park. And Jerome Powell, look, what we need in monetary policy, I know people are falling asleep when you talk about monetary policy, but
no, not our audience.
It's not you guys. You're geeks. But look, what do you want from the Fed? To keep prices stable. And, hard stop. Just stop inflation, keep prices stable, keep the dollar stable, and make sure that the dollar remains the world reserve currency. Patrice and Larry, we are so massively benefited from being the world reserve currency, and the way you do that is by keeping the faith in the dollar. And I think that's exactly what Kevin Warsh will do. He also does not believe in this mystic idea that came from these economists over the decades, that somehow if you get more growth in the economy, that somehow that's going to cause inflation. Now, Larry, every time I'm on, I ask you an economics 101 question. Okay, are you ready? Are you okay?
Ready.
Yeah. All right. And Patrice, I'm not even asking you because I know you're so much.
Yeah, it's not fair with
so
her.
You'll get okay. So if you increase the supply of apples in the economy, okay, Larry, then what happens to the price of apples?
Oh, I know this one. The price goes down.
Hey, ding, 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 ding. You got it, my friend. So how can it that if we have more economic growth and we increase the productivity of the economy, how does that cause inflation?
I didn't know there was going to be a follow-up.
It doesn't.
Oh, all right. Oh, that's right. It doesn't affect inflation.
And for bonus
well, I'm
points.
confused because Mr. Powell is acting as though it would.
Yes, exactly. And most of one of the things that has to happen when Kevin gets over there, Kevin Warsh, is to clean up. You got 300. There are 300 PhD economists over there. What the hell do they do? These geniuses at the Fed were the ones exactly a year ago, Patrice, who were saying, the economy's going to grow at 1.8% in 2025. You know what the economic growth rate was? 4%.
4%.
Exactly.
They weren't even close.
I knew that one.
Yeah.
So anyway, you can tell I'm very happy. And by the way, I have to say one other thing about this. Did you guys read Trump's statement about Kevin Warsh?
Yes.
It was great. And he said at the bottom, and he looks the part.
Yeah. I caught that piece. It's like, let me pull it up here. It's that he's quote central casting. Steve.
I was in the running for this. I was in the running for this, but I'm just not central casting. I didn't make that.
Well,
Larry.
we can get you a stylist. We could work on a stylist for the next open seat. I'd love to talk about the makeup of the board, though, right now. I mean, with Chris Waller and Michelle Bowman, both who are much more in kind of like the president's perspective of a more activist Fed in terms of interest rates, and Stephen Mirren coming on board now. Do you think that's enough of a balance? And then obviously Kevin Warsh leading the Fed, enough of a balance to kind of outweigh the ones on the board who just don't want to do anything, who want to just sit on their hands and wait for the economic indicators to change and the economy to change before the Fed steps in and does anything?
So I love this president. I am so honored that I've been able to be an economic advisor to him, and he gets 90% of the things right. I'm a little nervous about his position on monetary policy. Now, Trump said last week that he wants a weaker dollar, and I don't want a weaker dollar. I want a stable dollar. And the dollar actually has fallen in value over the last year as what's happened to the gold price. It's almost doubled. So I think what we want is not a weaker dollar. We want a stable dollar. And Trump wants to continue to lower interest rates. I'm a little nervous about that because we don't want to see, if you pump more money into the economy, you may cause inflation. So my recommendation to Kevin Warsh, and I think he will do this, is keep inflation down. That's what again, Larry nailed this one today. We've got to keep inflation down, and the economy will fly. I mean, look, this is the most pro-growth president we've had since Ronald Reagan. He is the most pro-business president. Larry and Patrice, every single economic indicator right now is pointing north. We've got soaring economic growth. We've got 7.5 million open jobs. Real wages are rising. Gas prices are down to $2.79 a gallon. I could go on for a half an hour. So just let the economy go, and that's what Trump has done with his big, beautiful tax bill. He's right. By the way, one other quick thing, Larry. I know we're out of time. How about this? Remember when he promised that we would have 3 deregulations for 1 new regulation?
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yes. He's done better,
you know what the
hasn't
ratio is? You know what the ratio is now?
What is it now?
100 deregulations for a
Insane.
My goodness, that's amazing.
Fantastic.
Amazing.
Amazing.
Steve, we're going to go overtime here because I have 2 more questions. Hopefully, the first one is a short one.
Do I get paid extra for this?
No. Yeah, we'll double what you're paying you for this.
Okay.
The real fast one, because I thought it was going to be Kevin Hassett. He is a trusted advisor to the president on the economy.
Yes.
Do you have any insight as to what happened there?
Yeah, I've always been for one of the 2 Kevins. That's what I told the president, take one of the 2 Kevins. And I think what happened, and I feel pretty confident this is what, he looked at Kevin Hassett and say, wow, this guy's doing an amazing job at the National Economic Council, and I can get 2 Kevins for the price of 1.
There you go. That's easy. Secondly, you're talking about monetary policy. You're talking about the strength and stability of the dollar. I've seen a lot of commentary here that part of why Warsh got the nod is because he's very pro crypto and Bitcoin. Is there an element there that you're looking at?
Yeah, well, Trump is pro crypto as well. I'm all in favor of cryptos. You know why? And by the way, I'm not an investor in cryptos. Because I'm nervous about them. But I'm glad they're out there because what cryptocurrencies do, which are just private currencies, not controlled by government, is they hold the central bankers honest, because if the central bankers try to inflate the currency, guess what? You're going to move into crypto. So I'm happy they're out there. I don't invest in them because I don't understand how they work. But, I think that's a good thing. And if we can get stability in the dollar, people won't have to buy cryptos.
All right. Thank you.
All
right.
Yeah.
Expect the check in the mail.
I'm impressed, Larry. You got A's today. A+.
Thank you, Steve.